Many of those in attendance tonight at the Meadowlands also hold tickets for Friday night's Game 5, but those tickets are marked if necessary. We're about to find out if the New Jersey Nets can bring their fans back for at least one more. Time for us to throw it downstairs to the threesome led by Marv Albert. Marveloso.
All right, thank you very much, Bob. And guys, this series has reached the point where the outcome is not even in the discussion. And the major reason Shaq and Kobe are both playing at an incredible level, coming off what we saw in game number 3. They'll have total control of what is taking place.
Marv, the Laker coronation is well underway, but we must remind ourselves that in our world, all men are created equal. Then there's Shaq and Kobe, and they have developed quite the mutual admiration society.
I see him every day. I see his work ethic every day. He's very humble, and he has everything. It's nothing that kid can't do.
Kobe came alive in Game 3 after playing a subservient role in Games 1 and 2. His numbers for the final terrific across the board. His complete game on full display. But Kobe is definitely smart enough to know that Big Shaq is the real difference in this series.
Here in the finals, we told him we're just going to come to him all game long. They have nobody inside that can match up with him. And we're just going to pound it inside. So I'm not surprised at all. And, you know, it's we did a similar thing last year in the finals, but you know, this year the way he's playing is just, it's ridiculous.
Pound it in and throw it down has become the mantra for LA. The big man has been beyond description and categorization here. The last 5 games, going back to the conference finals, he has never played better. So great that he has moved to the top of the charts on the all-time scoring leaders list by average in NBA Finals history. Now the Lakers have to work really hard one more time. For them, the sooner the better, because if they don't get it done tonight, it's only going to get harder from here on in.
All right, Steve, as for the Nets head coach, Byron Scott is hoping to build off the strong performance from his club in Game 3. It was really the first time that they genuinely challenged the Lakers.
Yeah, they challenged because they had a game plan. It was pressure and push, and they finally got that game plan going in the second half. And, of course, it was ignited by Jason Kidd. Kidd with penetration, found the open man, and when there were big plays to be made, Jason Kidd was up to the task. So they got to put 4 quarters together. They had a sensational second half where they shot the ball better than they've ever done, outscored the Lakers in the paint, and Kidd was tremendous. And then Kenyon Martin plays as well. They will be able to win a ball game tonight. You know, you got the little kids from the East playing the bullies from the West, and what they've got to do is steal a game. So look for this game to be stolen right at the outset.
A capacity crowd better than 20,000 here at Continental Airlines Arena, East Rutherford, New Jersey. We're moments away from the opening tip. Right here, let's check in with Jim Gray.
All right, thank you very much, Marv. I'm now joined by Sergeant Phil Harrison. He is Shaquille O'Neal's father. He speaks with Shaq before every game, whether he's with him or not on the telephone. Shaq tells me you had a very poignant message to him before the game. What was it that you said?
That this is where we all started. We began here in New Jersey, Newark, New Jersey, and all our family and friends are here. It'd be a great honor to end it all right here, right now.
Did you tell him this was the most important game that he would ever play because of that?
He already knows that. He already knows. He told me that. The most important game. Everybody understand that. This is for Newark, New Jersey, all our family and friends.
All right, Sergeant. Good luck to you. Thanks for taking the time.
Thank you very much.
Let's go down for a report on the New Jersey Nets to Lewis Johnson.
All right, Jim, thanks a lot. Well, Jason Kidd seems to have this entire situation in perspective. He calls this current Laker team with 2 championships. He compares them to a mansion, and he said by adding a 3rd championship, it would be like adding another wing to the mansion. As for the Nets, Kidd says that they have just laid the foundation, a foundation that will not allow to crack because of the disappointment here in this championship experience. So now, Jason Kidd and company stand on a foundation that they hope one day will support their mansion, a championship in New Jersey. Marv?
All right, thanks, Willis. Beautiful pass to set it up for Horry. And he is fouled by McCullough. You saw the starting lineups. The Los Angeles Lakers with the usual starting 5 up front. Rick Fox with Robert Horry and Shaquille O'Neal, Kobe Bryant, Derek Fisher in the backcourt. The officials, Bernie Fryer, Ed F. Rush, and Ted Bernhardt.
New Jersey comes out in a zone, something that they felt was successful. The Lakers have spent the last 2 days preparing for that, and the good ball fake by Derek Fisher. Everybody leapt to the corner over there trying to deny the three-point shot, and then Robert Horry wide open on the beautiful post-entry pass by Fisher.
Well, I think the zone hurts him, and I think what they've got to do is stay with pressuring the ball and making it difficult for them to find those guys on the weak side. Shaq and Kobe are going to get their points by volume if they're having bad nights. So keep everybody else out of the game.
And the Nets with Jason Kidd at the point. Kerry Kittles, the shooting guard. Keith Van Horn, Kenyon Martin, Todd McCullough up front. Kenyon Martin coming off a very strong performance. Ties the game at 2.
Robert Horry gambling there. Uncharacteristic of Horry. For Los Angeles, they can't get careless or casual. They got 48 minutes. They got to outwork them and outthink them.
And you mentioned the Nets going to the zone. They plan to play even more zone. Here's O'Neal. They still want to go with more decisive double teams. That successful the other night when they came back from that 14-point deficit, took the lead momentarily in the fourth quarter, but the Lakers came from behind, led by Kobe Bryant, who had 12 points in the fourth quarter. Martin being challenged to shoot. He does. And rebounded by O'Neal.
Well, that's what the Lakers want. They want them to be a perimeter team. They've got to move the ball and cut. They get a violation.
Rick Fox called for the travel, tried to put the brakes on, but took the extra step.
As Fox was coming up, normally expert at breaking a little bit of pressure defense, Shaq was in his way, and so he had to pull the ball back, resulting in the traveling violation.
Jason Kidd had a spectacular game the other night, 30 points in all, 21 in the second half. Here's Kidd drawing the foul.
Well, he's got a size advantage against Derek Fisher, and he should try to do that. Work to get in deep and then overpower him. And they did a little give and go off a pick and roll situation. And when Kidd is in this deep, he's either going to make the shot or he's even going to get his own rebound.
Good things for New Jersey off the start. You got Kenyon Martin involved in every single play. That time setting the screen, freeing up Jason Kidd, and then Kidd going to the hoop, earning the trip to the line.
And Kenyon Martin has come out looking for the shot. He struggled the first 2 games. After game 2, he said he's hurting himself. He was hesitating with that shot. And he had a host of open jumpers. Shaq, it counts, and the foul. Pushed from behind by Martin.
Martin had absolutely no experience at this level. Never played in a game with this type of play in terms of the brilliance that the Lakers come with in all aspects to their game. Now Kenyon Martin is finding out that he's got to change his game from one of physical intimidation and power to one of trying to play a thinking man's chess game.
And Shaquille O'Neal, who has come so far at the foul line, is able to complete the three-point play.
See how Horry is backing off Martin, and they fortunately get it inside.
Yes, they'll say, Kenyon, take the shot. We'll take our chances.
Every time Horry has given Martin a different look. At some point, though, Horry's going to have to start playing him a little bit more straight up and just say, what kind of game do you really have?
Here's the double on O'Neal. Shot clock down to 7. Fisher picked up on the switch. Bryant. Soaring to the rim.
Throw it down. One time, throw it down, Kobe Bryant. Yeah.
Lakers have a 9-6 lead.
Here's a guy they need to find, Kerry Kittles. He has not been involved since Los Angeles.
Shot clock still alive. Kittles, yes! There it is, Kerry Kittles hits the 3.
But the Laker defense continuing to make Jason Kidd a shooter. He's taken 67 shots in this series to only get 70-something points. That's not good enough.
And that will not work if Shaquille O'Neal, from the net point of view, is able to get that kind of position, get that deep. There is no way that he will be stopped. Van Horn, yes. Had the foot on the line, so that's a 2-pointer and the game tied at 11.
Todd McCullough does not offer any resistance to Shaquille O'Neal. You have to meet him at the foul line and make him earn every inch of territory.
Yeah, but they're playing that zone, and that's the reason that he doesn't. So he is supposed to be in kind of a boxing one down there and watching it, and Shaq just rolls across and gets that deep post position.
Here's Kobe getting the stop, and he is hammered by McCullough.
Kobe Bryant isolated up against the shot clock. You can see this dunk coming from maybe 5-10 feet away from where he eventually took off from. And with Todd McCullough forced to stay at home on Shaquille O'Neal. Todd McCullough is not a shot blocker by any stretch of the imagination. He just comes over and lays some heavy wood on this 23-year-old phenom.
And McCullough is called for his second. Kobe Bryant, 36 points in Game 3, including that clutch field goal with 19 seconds remaining. As I mentioned, 12 of the 36 in the fourth quarter. He just took over the offense in that fourth quarter here in Game 3.
That shot you mentioned, Marv, with the hand in his face, you cannot make a more difficult shot. He seems to make those on a routine basis, day in and day out. It's incredible.
Normally at this stage, McCullough would be coming out of the game, but they're going to let him roll. He's got 6 fouls. Maybe a new strategy, Marv. Let him use them all.
They never play him in the second half anyway, so
usually Byron Scott comes with Aaron Williams, who picked up 6 fouls in 7 minutes the other night. Derek Fisher on target, and he has provided an enormous lift for the Lakers in this NBA Finals series. Started to show signs in the Western Conference Final against Sacramento. Here's Kittles with the step, lost his balance, able to recover. Clock stopped by Kidd. It's a 3-point Laker lead. 3.5 gone by. Bryant. O'Neal grabbing the rebound. Goes behind the back to Bryant. Well, that would have been a pretty assist. And then the foul is called on Bryant.
And Shaq's words are, come on, Kobe, make a layup. He comes up with a terrific rebound and then just lays it off perfectly. Kobe embarrassed about that.
I think at this end of the floor, the Nets have to make the Lakers play some defense. They cannot come down and quick shoot the ball because they're playing motion and they don't get in good rebound positions, so they only get 1 shot.
Come to Shaq. He's passing the ball beautifully.
And a 3-second violation. The outside official, Ted Bernhardt, calling the 3 on Shaquille O'Neal.
Hey, Bill, he's only made 1 thing.
How about the one to Derek Fisher?
Played by Fox. Is marked with lots of room. Robert Ory saying take the shot, and he does. So Kenyon Martin has hit 2 of 3, but the Lakers are willing to take their chance.
And that sense of hesitation, Robert Ory, he's playing with the mind of Kenyon Martin.
O'Neal. Oh. Shaquille O'Neal with a strong move. The crowd looking for an offensive foul. Lakers up by 3. Shaq 4 for 4. He has 9 points.
Well, Todd McCullough is playing like a little kid, and he's afraid to get too close to Shaq, and he doesn't know what to do when he's there.
Bring it out if you're the Lakers here. Wait for the big man.
Well, Fox on the pull-up is hacked. And Rick Fox will go to the line. He's fouled by Keith Van Horn.
You don't like the body language of Todd McCullough down in the post. You look, he's helpless, and he's just reaching and trying to pin Shaq off, but he doesn't have good body position. Shaq is catching the ball too deep. Bad things happen.
So the Lakers are better off making a substitution. What's the point of having McCullough passively?
They're just trying to buy time. I would have called that a traveling violation on Shaq. It seemed that he took an extra step, came with a left-footed attack and approach as opposed to a right-footed one with that type of move.
Where do you see these things?
I thought he was screened out also.
I did too.
Here's Martin. Rebounded by Ory. 6 minutes remaining in the first. Lakers up by 5.
The more that Kenyon Martin shoots, the more it takes him off the offensive glass.
Look at how deep that is.
Oh, McCullough with the block shot. Here's Martin on the run. Put up jumper by Kenyon. And McCullough lays it home. Lakers 20. And the Nets 17. The Nets try to stay alive, down 3 games to nothing. No team in the NBA Finals has ever come back from a 3-0 deficit. It's been done twice in the NHL Final. O'Neal with the drop step. And here comes Kidd. Lakers able to get back.
Lakers transition defense has been flawless during this entire series,
which is so important against a team like New Jersey. Martin. So Kenyon Martin is headed to the line. He'll look to tie the game. Foul is called on Rick Fox.
Todd McCullough playing under serious duress, and with foul trouble, send it back, Todd. Don't bring that weak stuff in here. Todd McCullough calling Shaq out right now, and then gets up and down the court and beats Shaq, leaving him in the dust.
Throw it down, Todd McCullough. Throw it down.
I think once again too much coffee for Bill.
Been through a lot of negatives in my career as a Laker. Been through Kobe shooting air balls. Been through me missing 20 free throws down the stretch. Been through the Dennis Rodman era. We've been through a lot. First ring, they rolled me a lot. Second ring, we rolled Kobe. And now this ring, we just have to, play our game and remain hungry.
And how things have turned for Shaquille O'Neal and this franchise since Phil Jackson was named head coach 3 years ago.
3 years ago, teams were lining up to play the Lakers. Karl Malone, Jazz, Tim Duncan, David Robinson, Akeem Olajuwon. They said, when do the Lakers come to town? We want those guys. Phil Jackson shows up, and everything is different. Now people running and hiding.
And Phil gunning for his 9th championship ring as a head coach, looking to equal the record held by Red Auerbach. Lakers and Nets tied at 20, just under 5 remaining in the first quarter.
Well, Collins is in the game now, Mark, so we'll see how he does.
Oh, Collins ahead of Williams. That's a strategic shift by Byron Scott.
Remember, Jason Collins played Shaq pretty well in that first game. In the fourth quarter, crowd enjoyed that shot by Bryant was way off. Here's Kidd. With 5 points, he's hit a 3 and a 2, a 7-0 run for the Nets.
Yeah, when they had this going, they had the pressure on the ball, and they made the Lakers shoot quickly. Mistake.
Well, Rick Fox coughs it up.
Why couldn't we see this from the Nets in the first game?
Well, they were the first to admit they came out with stage fright in game number 1 at Staples. They had the terrible shooting first quarter. They did get back into it, but you never had the feeling that they had a shot down the stretch, although they closed that gap. Here's Kenyon Martin. And it's a goal kick. Well, they're giving Kenyon Martin the outside shot. He's hit a couple. And he's feeling pretty good about his offense. You can tell just by watching.
In game 3, he did a lot of this, though. He posted up and he really attacked, and Shaq saw it coming, tried to knock it away.
Martin is playing very, very well.
Foul on Collins. And you hear the reaction as the Nets go into the penalty. The Nets with the last 9 points, and they lead it 24-20.
As is the case so often, the Lakers are killing their opponents at the free throw line. The Lakers have made more free throws in this series than the Nets have taken, 82 to 75. And they have taken 35, 40 more free throws than the Nets.
Your man, Richard Jefferson, is in the ballgame now, replacing Keith Van Horn, so that defense is going to get more energized.
Richard Jefferson, the rookie out of Arizona, has played well in the NBA Finals, actually throughout the playoffs. And Jefferson, guarded by Fox, Collins, now Martin, being played tightly by Horry, so he steps up.
Big-time play. That's why you draft a player like Kenyon Martin, #1 overall. Unstoppable.
You're changing your mind.
Catch the pass from Fox. O'Neal on the recovery. O'Neal is stripped and a foul. It's on O'Neal.
And Kenyon Martin, he doesn't realize that they called the foul on Shaq. He goes over and gets a technical foul with Bernie Fryer. Talk about losing your composure.
A bit confused.
Well, you know, they went down in the scrum for the ball, and in all of these situations, where has the call gone? It's gone in favor of Shaq. So what would be your first reaction? We got beat again.
Underneath, the scramble for the ball. Good block initially, and then Shaq is just so strong, so big.
Yeah, Martin thought the foul was going to be called on him.
I'm puzzled. I didn't really see a foul on Shaq there. Bernie Fryer whistles the quick technical.
Kenyon paranoid here.
Well, you know, I think he wants to get one more game.
Here's Martin. Looked like O'Neal got a piece of it. Last touch by the Lakers. The Nets have reeled off an 11-1 run. Playing well here in this first quarter. Lead at 26-21.
This is the best the Nets have been at the outset of the ball game, and they have to remain this way. They cannot give up on attacking the rim and moving the ball and moving themselves quickly.
This is Lucius Harris without the protective mask. Harris got the stop. Lucius Harris has had a very tough time. He has shed the mask.
Finally. Throw it down, big man.
And O'Neal is fouled by Collins. So Jason Collins picks up his second.
But the attacking attitude of the New Jersey Nets is what's gotten them the lead, and they have to play this way for the remainder of this quarter and the rest of the others. So we'll find out whether they have that energy and that drive. After a 6-shot effort in Game 2, Jason Kidd went to Kenyon Martin and said, if I ever play another game with you again where you only take 6 shots, I personally will rip you apart. And he has been more aggressive and more assertive since that point. A tremendous game in Game 3, and here at the outset of this, he's been attacking and hammering the ball over the top, and he's had a tremendous start.
And the story in this series has been the Lakers getting out to huge starts and leads in the first quarter, the Nets coming back, and then the second half belonging to Los Angeles. That's been different tonight as the Lakers not playing well. They're very casual, careless, turning the ball over 4 times for 8 points already.
Shot having some problems at the line tonight. 2 for 4. The Nets 12 of 19 shooting in this first quarter, 63%. Lakers have hit only 1 of their last 7 as we approach 2.5 to go in the first, and the Nets up by 7.
And the field goal percentage for both teams during this series belies those numbers, Mark.
All right, here's Martin getting possession. Kenyon Martin has been on fire. 13 points. He's been the spark in this 15-1 run. Aaron Williams is back now for the Nets, and he's defending on Shaquille O'Neal. Here's Fisher. And Jefferson has a 3-on-1. Back it goes to Jefferson. The pass slightly off.
Robert always got to wake up.
O'Neal. Well, Shaquille remaining in the front court, and the Lakers took advantage.
What we know about the Lakers is they are a team that can get off the floor. They can have a bad period and recover. So the pressure is still on New Jersey to continue this.
Robert Horry is getting torched. He is not playing his normal, brilliant game in all aspects. He's not prepared defensively, and Kenyon Martin is just exploding by him every time.
Seemed like a good idea to start with it, telling Kenyon, all right, take the shot. It's not working.
Not only is that not working, but he's not keeping them getting the low post.
Here's Bryant. Kobe Bryant able to slice his way, but not able to finish. Calming violation by Jason Kidd. The official was screened out. Bad pass thrown by Martin. But last touch by the Lakers. This represents the biggest lead the Nets have had in the 4 games of this NBA Final Series. They're up by 9.
And they're playing great ball. They're in transition. They're defending without fouling. even though McCullough and Collins each have 2 fouls, but they're getting up and down the court, and they got a great player on a roll in Kenyon Martin right now.
Samaki Walker has come on for Shaquille O'Neal. Martin going 17 points for Kenyon Martin, who is on fire from all angles here in the first quarter. The Nets up by 11. Fisher wide open. Yes. So the Nets now lead 34-25.
And what you don't want to do is get Derek Fisher, Rick Fox, and Robert Horry into the ball game.
Aaron Williams.
Lakers have to get to work defensively. They're allowing penetration, allowing great post-up position for Kenyon Martin, allowing Jason Kidd to get out in transition.
Bryant putting a series of moves on Harris, who played it well, and Kobe with the step and his hit on a reach. Foul on Harris.
What all of the Lakers should understand is that Kobe is going to take over the game right now, but the guy that's taken over the game for New Jersey is Kenyon Martin. He's done it down low. He's been able to beat Robert Horry to the spot, been able to jump over him, and every shot that he has taken, he feels real good about. The basket is as big as the Hudson River. Is anything flowing tonight, Bill?
The flow is all for New Jersey. And what Bob Costa said at the very top, the precedent of Seattle, Chicago in '96. Lewis Johnson talked about the foundation. Well, they're in the second stage of financing here already for New Jersey.
I'm not sure what he said, Steve, but it sounded pretty good. We had the river theme was in there.
Where it came out was New Jersey has a chance, as long as they stay ahead.
All right, here is Martin with time running down in the first. That would have counted. 1 quarter in the books here at the New Jersey Meadowlands. The Nets 15 of 25 from the field. Kenyon Martin with 17 of the Nets' 34 points. Jason Kidd with 4 assists. The Nets by 7 after 1.
2 successive years now, your former teams, both the Sixers and the Nets, are in the finals. What's the chances of something like that?
Well, I'll tell you, the odds are against it. But if the Magic get there next year, it'll be 3 years in a row, teams that I'm affiliated or associated with playing for the championship. And hopefully one of them can pull it off.
Now, Julius, you were sold by the owner, Roy Bowe. As we look at your retired jersey in the rafters here, you were sold by Roy Bowe for $3 million to the Philadelphia 76ers. Ever since then, they said there's been the curse of Roy Bowe. Is that officially over now that the Nets are in the finals?
I think so, Jim. You know, it's hard to believe it was 26 years ago. And, you know, it kind of paralleled the curse of the Bambino. But it was just something that was talked about and in people's minds. And now I think it's totally eradicated by the Nets making the finals.
Julius, you passed the torch on to Michael Jordan, who now seemingly has passed it on to Kobe Bryant. Kobe grew up in Philadelphia watching you as a Sixer. How about that torch being passed?
Well, Kobe definitely is the holder of the torch in terms of the player in the league who, when fans are sitting in their seats watching him play, they don't want to leave. They have this eager anticipation about possibly seeing something that they've never seen before. And I think he's right there, and I also think Tracy McGrady's there. I got to put Tracy in there.
Let me ask you, of course, when they made the merger and the ABA went into the NBA, unlike the AFL into the NFL, none of the old players, including yourself, had their records transferred. Should the history of the game have those records transferred, and should it be revisited?
Well, I think it's something that's been constantly looked at over these 26 years, and it probably gives a unleveled view to today's fan about basketball history. The ABA is very much alive in the NBA today, and the ABA was very much a structure of how the NBA has been built and presented to the public. So the answer is yes. I think the stats should be merged, but I'm a little biased.
Julius, it's great to see you back here with the Nets. And I'm sure you're enjoying the game, even though the series isn't turning out how you would have wanted. Thanks for taking the time.
Okay, it's a pleasure, and I think the Nets will put on a good show today.
All right. Mark, back to you. Kobe Bryant on the basket.
Yeah, what a shot by Kobe. Aaron Williams draws the foul. Here's Kobe with the head fake, and he heads to the line. I think Steve Jones, a one-time prolific ABA scorer, would like to see those records transferred for NBA credit.
Yeah, mine would look a lot better.
When Aaron Williams gets in that situation and he's pump fake and he's obviously going to commit a foul, just come down hard so that Kobe can't get the three-point play opportunity. Free throw attempt heavily in favor of Los Angeles going to the hoop.
Van Horn able to keep it alive. Lakers in the midst of a 9-0 run, and that is concluded. Van Horn has given the Nets a 36-32 lead.
What we know is that the Nets are going to have to be perfect. The Lakers can have a flaw, they can have a blip, but they can get back in the game. The Nets are going to have to play better than they've ever played the entire game.
Van Horn with a nice pass. Jefferson with the bucket. Fouled by Walker.
The beautiful ball movement. Everything flowing for New Jersey on the offensive end. They've got to take advantage of the fact that Shaq is out of the lineup right now. They've lost their substantial lead, but Richard Jefferson on the fly. He glides by without actually double clutching. Stays strong enough in the air to be able to finish against the foul. Shaq returns when he's in the game. Lakers can't get it done. When he goes out, they come alive. Now,
NBA Commissioner David Stern said yesterday perhaps we should consider a 6-man rule for teams playing the Lakers to give them a better shot.
I think he said that in jest.
You think so?
No, I do.
So I take everything he says very seriously. Brian Shaw has checked in for the first time, and Kobe Bryant was stripped. Lucius Harris with the lead. Recovered by Jefferson, then had it knocked away. And the Lakers are back on it.
Shaq's not running the floor defensively. The Nets should realize that if they just slow a little bit down on their fast break, Williams, Todd McCullough, and Jason Collins can get opportunities.
Brian Shaw, who has not been a major contributor thus far in the finals after playing so well as a spot guy against the Sacramento Kings.
With the lead, and we have to ask Scott, how long does Jason Kidd stay out? Because they need him out there to run the show, to get these other guys easier shots. Kittle and Harris are both scoring guards and don't handle the ball that well.
Here's Devin George with the open shot, and he is showing more confidence. Devin George hits from downtown. Devin George the other night 2 for 4 from the field, 6 points, 8 rebounds, and hit a couple from the outside. Here's Devin George popping from the corner as the Nets call for time.
What beautiful ball movement. The confidence that this Laker team has in themselves. They're right back in this, and they've only had Shaq for just a minute now back.
You know, he's staking his claim in history. You know, he's one of the best coaches of all time. You know, he's the best coach I've ever had. I think he's the greatest coach of all time. Some people don't want to give him his due, but his record speaks for itself. You know, he's taught me a lot about the game. He's really opened my mind and, you know, helped me use the talent that I have in the right way.
Phil is a great coach. He's done a lot with 2 different organizations. He knows how to take different personalities, put them together, make them focus on the same page.
And for Phil Jackson, gunning for a 9th NBA title to equal the record that is held by the legendary Red Auerbach. Phil Jackson's teams have never swept in the NBA Finals. 8 previous titles went either 5 or 6 games. Jason Kidd not able to hit. Here's Keith Van Horn missing on the foul, but they keep it alive.
That's a sign of a tight, pressured player in Van Horn, and he's got to find a way to loosen up.
Nets have 5 offensive rebounds for 9 second chance points. Lakers need to tighten it up defensively. Robert Horry back in the game. See if he can find a little bit of focus and concentration.
O'Neal with Horry and George on the front line. Shaw and Fisher in the backcourt. Kobe Bryant getting a rest.
Right here is where they really need to tiger and pressure the ball. They don't have a creative guy like Kobe out on the floor, and they're going to become perimeter oriented.
With the Nets in the zone, they should bring Shaq to the high post and then roll him down low once the ball goes to the corner. Get better motion into the low post action.
Van Horn with a sweeping hook. It's tipped home by Collins, and the game is tied at 47.
With every miss, it becomes more difficult for Van Horn, so we may see Ricky Jefferson before the half.
Devin George with a nice quick release. Now Devin George, in his third year out of Augsburg in Minnesota, first-round pick in '98. They can shoot the ball, although we have not seen him most of the season.
He struggled mightily in the early rounds of the playoffs, particularly the early games against Sacramento, but he's come alive of late.
Shot clock down to 5. Martin forcing. And back comes Shaw. 3-on-2 developing. But the Nets able to recover.
Tough spacing shot. He's coming right down that Wilt Chamberlain groove down the middle of the court. Not going to take one step outside of it.
Shot clock to 5. They surround Shaq. So here's George for 3. Yes!
That, Steve, is another one of those passes. Faked up to the top, froze the defense, and then delivered it crisply right into the shooting motion of George.
You can't get a wide open man. I don't know what you're talking about.
And O'Neal has 4 assists. Collins given the room. So Jason Collins with his second field goal. Lakers 52. The Nets 49. Just under 3 to go in this first half. Both clubs shooting well. That's just under 50%. Lakers at 58% from the field. Horry from downtown. Yes!
See, and this is why right now you get preoccupied with Shaq. They're getting those wide open shots. These guys are starting to make that deep perimeter 3.
Sparkling shooting by both teams. But Byron Scott upset and takes a timeout with the Lakers jumping in front by 6. The Lakers have it on fire from downtown. They're now 4 for 4 from beyond that three-point line.
All because you have to double team Shaq down low. The rotation's not quick enough. Kobe Bryant leading the cheers from the bench. The Nets must respond immediately.
Up 6-point Laker lead. They've been on fire. A number of open shots for the Lakers. They're 10 of 14 from the field here in the second quarter. Devin George wide open in the corner. This occurring the last couple of minutes. Robert Horry hitting from downtown. And Byron Scott just moments ago talked about this with his team.
Talk to each other. Point. Okay, you got to talk to each other, guys. You got to communicate out there. You can't allow guys to get wide open shots like this. We haven't picked it back up on the defensive end. That's where the game is going to be won. It's not going to be won down here on offense. You got to do it on the defensive end. All right? Chin through. Chin through. Let's go.
All coaches preach defense, and they always beg for harder work, but defense is a constant. The Nets have to match him on the offensive end, and with Van Horn and Kenyon Martin having disappeared here in the closing moments of the first half, the Nets find themselves in a world of hurt.
Well, Van Horn is out of the ball game, and Martin gets his second shot of the quarter.
Kenyon Martin headed to the line. He took the hit from Kobe Bryant. There's Keith Van Horn, 2 for 6. From the field, so Martin will shoot a couple. He's the high point man for the Nets with 17. Shaquille O'Neal leading the way for the Lakers with 18.
We got some pain being dished out by the Lakers. Martin took 13 shots in that first quarter. He's taken 2 here in the second. They got to reignite him.
Lakers have a 5-point lead as we close it on 2 minutes remaining in the half. Nice recovery by Devin George and tips it to O'Neal. Horry not able to tip it home, and here comes Kidd.
what transition defense. They just don't get the looks that they have against everyone else. The Lakers are so determined to get back.
So effective in stopping the ball. They have been doing that all series. Lucius Harris. And he has regained the touch. Lucius Harris, who had a solid season and came up big in the earlier rounds of the playoffs, finally hitting a shot.
What took him so long to take the mask off? I would have stolen the mask in the locker room.
Thought it was going well when he had the mask on until 2019. Here's Fisher for three.
Devin George is wreaking havoc. He is getting shots. He's tipping the ball, keeping it alive.
Fisher for three. And Derek Fisher with 8 points. Lakers lead 58-52.
Devin George has given Phil Jackson the game that Robert Horry usually contributes. Robert a step off the pace tonight early.
Harris again. Lakers up by 4. And Bernie Fryer blowing the whistle and has indicated a technical foul. And it's on Jim Clemens, Laker assistant coach. Jim Clemens apparently had something to say that was not appreciated. There's Jim.
Not from sweet young Jim.
Young.
Very young.
Can you tell me who Jim Clemens was traded for when he was sent from Cleveland to the Knicks?
Walt Frazier.
Walt Clyde Frazier. Very good. A very famous trade in the New York area.
I'd like to see Walt Frazier playing against these Lakers.
O'Neal.
Look at this girl.
But it's taken by Kidd. 25 seconds remaining in the half. Jefferson! To bring the Nets within 1. And they'll hold for a final shot of this first half. What a move by Richard Jefferson. Lakers want a 20-second timeout.
Come on, Bob. How about one throw down? Loosen up a little bit here.
After the game.
Richard Jefferson has been a fearless attacker for Byron Scott, and this is a much-needed energizer for them. But look at Kobe Bryant coming down and thinking, I can block this.
Throw it down, RJ. Throw it down. What a great screen by Lucius Harris, clearing out the Laker defender.
Richard Jefferson, a guy who can leap, a high jumper on his high school track team. Both teams have a foul to give. We're coming up on 10 seconds remaining of the half. Lakers up by 1. Now to 5. George. So that's the end of the first half. Devin George attempting that shot. Kobe Bryant wanted the ball. The Lakers 58. The Nets 57. 18 apiece for Kenyon Martin. Shaquille O'Neal. Coming up, Verizon Wireless at the half with Bob Costas and Tom Tolbert. Welcome back to Continental Airlines Arena, East Rutherford, New Jersey. And this an arena that opened July of 1981 with Bruce Springsteen packing them in.
Were you here?
I happened to miss that concert.
I can't.
There was a conflict at the time. Marv Albert, Bill Walton, Steve Snapper Jones. Third quarter is underway. Jason Kidd was sent flying, looking for a call. Now Kidd backs it up on Fisher and hits. So the Nets have taken a 59-58 lead. The Nets came out of the chute on fire, led by as many as 11 in the opening quarter. They had a 15-1 run. The spark was Kenyon Martin. He's the high man for New Jersey with 18. Shaquille O'Neal leading the Lakers with 18. Kobe Bryant has not gotten into the offense to this point. 2 for 7 from the field. Fisher off the mark, and the ball will go back to the Nets.
Lakers have a lot of work. Besides Kobe going 2 for 7, the Lakers are not forcing any turnovers. The Nets only had 3. They've given up 7 offensive rebounds for 11 second chance points, and neither forward or your Fox are making it happen for Phil Jackson.
Kerry Kittle's able to beat Kobe Bryant. And that a perfect illustration of the motion offense. Kittle's off the steal is called for the foul.
Called this foul on Kerry Kittles. He almost had it as he stepped in the passing lane. But this is what the Nets did well in Game 3 in the second half. Attack the rim, get guys wide open shot, and they need to revive Kerry Kittle as an offensive weapon for them. So he starts out strong.
And Jason Kidd picked up his 8th assist on that play. Bryant played on the switch by Van Horn. O'Neal is up front with Fox and Horry. And it is last touch by the Nets. Lakers have 6 on the shot clock.
Against this zone defense, which the Nets have started both halves with, you got to flash a guy to the high post and then draw the defenders in, and then that guy turns and zips the ball to wide open players.
The Lakers have had no trouble against the zone.
And they reset the clock because the ball was kicked out of bounds. So 14 on the 24. Fox for 3. The Laker three-point shooting has been sensational.
And at the halftime, just the last huddle before they came out, Shaq said, look, guys, we got 24 minutes to work here. And he particularly looked at Rick Fox and said, come on, Ricky, I got to have it right now. This is too important.
After Fox had his first shot attempt, Lakers 6 of 9 from downtown. Martin is fouled.
Three-point shooting, 6 of 9 mark, and the free throws are what have kept the Lakers in the game or put them on the lead. New Jersey has got to get to the shooters, and all those looks have been wide open.
Fox on the foul, his second. Martin forced to give it up as they go to the double. Here's Kidd for 3. Oh, Kidd tried to save it, he did!
Jason Kidd, an incredible save, but the Lakers will live with Jason Kidd shooting tons of jumpers from the perimeter.
Kidd's got to get going, and he's got to take that script from that third game and really ignite their team offensively.
Fox. Fisher passed on the shot. Yes, another 3 for the Lakers.
So the 2 Laker forwards, Horry and Fox, who didn't do much in the first half, they will each come out and hit a 3 early. Hopefully their focus and concentration is much sharper.
Kittles with the air ball from downtown.
Wow. Watch out.
Bryant. Kobe Bryant forcing the issue. Kobe now just 2 of 8 from the field, and Rick Fox wide open on the left side.
Yeah, they missed him on the break, and I'm sure that they'll talk about that during the timeout.
Kobe's got to work his way in with the little things right now. Defense, rebounding, passing the ball a little bit. His offense not there.
And Killer's able to beat him off the dribble. McCullough once again in the right spot. So McCullough is 4 for 5. He has 8 points. Opened up the game by collecting 2 early fouls that took a seat.
Jack is playing very casually on defense.
O'Neal draws up the foul.
Up.
Foul on Kidd.
They need more of these plays, but these are scramble hustle plays, and you can't count on those. McCullough missed the first one and was fortunate to stay with it to get it to go in. But they have got to be able to keep McCullough in the game for these kinds of plays. He's picked up another foul against Shaq.
But in 2 for 5, make it 2 for 6 at the line. He has shot so well at the line during the postseason, in particular from the Sacramento series on. He's 65% at the foul line in the playoffs, which for Shaq is a very high percentile. Tied at 65. Bryant with the steal. O'Neal getting position and is fouled by McCullough. So that's 3 on Todd McCullough.
But granted, Shaq is one of the greatest centers in the history of the game. But the New Jersey Net big men, they have not learned anything in this 4-game series to date about preparation defensively before he ever receives the ball. He just gets what he wants when he wants it. You can't win with that approach.
Shaq 4 for 8.
And both of those free throws looked a lot better for Shaq, and he kept the Lakers on the lead, but they've got to put pressure on the ball. When you find Shaq, you're finding him right at the rim, and that's too tough for McCullough or any center.
Off the weave, Kidd able to find the baseline. O'Neal with the save. Nice play by Shaq. Once again, Shaquille O'Neal had to gather better than 60 tickets for family and friends from the area for tonight's game. Shaq grew up in Newark, New Jersey. Lakers up 67-65. 4 minutes gone by in the third quarter. Kenyon Martin. And the baseline cut off by Robert Horry. Here's Martin. Oh, beautiful move. Switching hands as he took that shot.
Back-to-back beautiful move. Probably his best rebound defensively of the finals, and then coming right back and looking at Robert Horry and Shaq and saying, hey, you want some of this? Come, because I'm bringing it tonight.
Martin had an 11 of 17, 26-point game here on Sunday. Horry is fouled. He was hacked on the play. Nice ball movement by the Lakers to set it up. The foul on Martin, his second.
Well, Kenyon Martin picked up the foul, but before he did it, he was aggressive at the offensive end, and that's what got the Nets started in that first quarter of play. So hopefully he can come back with that same kind of energy, but trying to block from the rear, Kenyon Martin picks up his second.
What a beautiful Laker play right there. Everybody handling it, the backdoor cut, the give and go, the flash, the interchangeability. When we asked Phil Jackson what made it work, he said three things. Number one, the credibility that he brought. And then number two, the system, the triangle that everybody bought into, and then the loyalty that really came last year. And when you got guys like Horry and Fox, who were just brilliant players, complementary players to play in Phil Jackson's system, championships, they just keep falling in place.
Although there were times of desperation in that series against the Sacramento Kings, where some of the role players were being questioned, and there's talk of what a difference it was with Horace Grant last year and Tyronn Lue, particularly in handling Mike Bibby. But it has all changed here in this NBA Finals series. Kittles is fouled. This now a Laker club that has won 14 of the last 16 road playoff games, and they have won 7 straight in the final. That dates back to last year. They lost the opening game to the 76ers, then won 4 in a row. They won the first 3 in this series. Kobe Bryant on that foul. That's 3 on Kobe.
Kittles has got to continue to attack him, and he's a good enough player to where he can attack off the dribble. He had a very good series up until the finals, and he's only had one real good offensive game. That was game 2, so he's got to get back into the act at the offensive end.
Game tied at 69. 5 minutes gone by in the third. Man, Horry knocked it away, not able to hold on.
Nice pump fake by Horry in the air.
Horry against Martin. Beautiful move by Robert Horry, who has 12 points.
Well, I guess, Bill, he heard you, and now he's coming out, and he's aggressive. He got 7 here in the quarter, so in your face, Walton.
Horry is the kind of guy who will do whatever it takes to win. Does not want the limelight.
Martin not able to hit. Robert Horry on his way to a 5th, count of 5 championship rings. 2 is a key member of the Houston Rockets, and this would be 3 if the Lakers, when the Lakers conclude matters against the Nets. Wow. Rick Fox from downtown, and the Nets want to talk it over. Lakers lead it 74-69 with 6:04 remaining in the third. The Lakers 8 for 12 from downtown. And Robert Horry in a very select group, and as Phil Jackson said, that was the season for the Los Angeles Lakers.
You just see how happy Derek Fisher was. He's just bubbling over. Horry has 12 points on 4 shot attempts. He has 4 assists and a blocked shot. It's amazing how it's
blocked by O'Neal, and then Martin draws the foul.
The Nets have to stay aggressive. They have to be more aggressive at the offensive end and even amp it up more at the defensive end. Their problem is they're allowing that ball to move too freely at their defensive end. Too many guys getting easy open shots.
Foul committed by Fisher. Kenyon Martin with his 21st point. Let's check in with Lewis Johnson. Lewis?
All right, Marvin, that last time out, Byron Scott was talking about challenging shots like the one we just saw Robert Horry hitting in that vignette. He also begged the guys to rebound. He told Todd McCullough to meet Shaq higher on the block. He keeps meeting him down by those dotted lines, and he said at that point it's too late. But they're only down 5. Let's try and get this thing close and force a game 5. Marv?
All right, Lewis. Nets going to the pressure again, and Shaquille O'Neal wide open off the trapping defense by New Jersey.
Let's give Sacramento a lot of credit. They made the Lakers have to work at the point of attack. They can't move that ball that freely and, you know, they get anything they want. Shaq with the dunk, too easy.
But the difference was the big man for Sacramento. Those guys could handle the ball and create plays. Todd McCullough, at best, is an average finisher.
Shaquille O'Neal referring to Todd McCullough as a respectable player, which he is. Had a solid year, but he's going up against one of the great centers of all time, and a great center who is playing his best basketball of the season. Shaq now has 25. Lakers lead it by 7. Open shot for Van Horn. Keith Van Horn, who has been struggling, hits from downtown. 7 points for Van Horn, and the Lakers lead by 4.
He saw Richard Jefferson over there at the scoring table. I may as well get something because I think he's coming to get me.
Finally, somebody please make a shot.
Jefferson and Collins getting set to check back in. Fox not able to handle that pass. Here comes Kittles. Bryant stepped away, did not want to pick up number 4.
Yeah, that's when Kerry Kittles is at his best when he's in the open court, and Kobe wants to stick around.
So the Laker lead is down to 2. O'Neal with the strong move on McCullough.
Todd that time trying to get a little physical. Byron Scott can't believe it. But when Todd just bumps, and then leaves himself on the high side there, you're never going to win a game of size and strength against Shaq.
10 years in the weight room, and we'll see a difference on McCullough, but not tonight.
Shot clock to 6. Martin. McCullough not able to hang on. Todd McCullough does have good hands, but one of the Lakers got a piece of it, and Horry lost it.
Todd McCullough is a good skilled basketball player. He just doesn't have the physical skills to play a game against Shaq.
Well, it's a physical strength. I mean, if you're not strong enough, you just can't expect to go down there and lean on Shaq and not get crushed.
I don't think it's strength. I think it's lack of mobility.
Collins and Jefferson are back in. Here's Collins. Jason Collins hit his first 2 field goal attempts. 80-76, Lakers with the lead. Coming up on 3 minutes remaining in the third. Very quiet game at the offensive end for Kobe Bryant.
Well, the backcourt hasn't scored here in the third quarter.
Here's Bryant. So much for that stat.
Steve has mentioned this before, Marv, that Kobe's one of those players who can just miss everything for huge stretches, and it never affects him.
Kid able to save that pass, but Horry is on it. The Lakers are now 9 for 13 from downtown with that successful 3 a moment ago by Bryant.
You know, it's amazing how you can change in a series. They couldn't buy a 3 against Sacramento. They cannot miss tonight, and that is huge.
Here's Bryant again for 3.
But Vlade did a terrific job defensively on Shaq.
Kittles for 3.
I think New Jersey makes a mistake when they try to match him for 3.
Fisher takes all the way. O'Neal is fouled by Collins. Coming into tonight, Byron Scott was concerned, wondering whether the good shooting from the perimeter in Game 3 was fool's gold. And perhaps as we see some of these shots going astray, he may be thinking that way.
They've gone away from Jason Kidd to the hoop and Kenyon Martin's power inside game, and it's cost them dearly.
snapped in '95 against the Houston Rockets. Shaquille O'Neal has a broom in his hand and on the verge of putting the Nets out of the way with big power moves like this, and it's just been too much, too often for Todd McCullough, Jason Collins, Aaron Williams, and he has been overpowering here in the third quarter. Another huge effort, Bill.
As one of the greatest players of all time, Shaq has been nothing less than Shaq-tacular. But in 13 games of the first rounds of these playoffs, Shaq was just another good player. These last 5 games, he has never played better. Tonight has not been one of those greatest games for Shaquille O'Neal, but this is his 19th NBA Finals game. He has never scored less than 25 points in a single one of those Finals games, and he has scored at least 28 points in 16 of those 18 games.
And you mentioned he is not at a top-level type performance, at least for Shaquille O'Neal, yet he is 11 of 16 for 28 points. And Steve mentioned a moment ago the fact that Shaq, as a member of the Orlando Magic, was swept by the Houston Rockets in '95. Robert Horry on that Houston team. Brian Shaw, also a member of that Orlando team. Shaq says he remembers crying after that 4-game sweep. He said it was a life-changing moment, and he felt humiliated by the sweep. Wild shot by Martin, and O'Neal with the rebound. That's the last 4-game sweep of the NBA Finals. 1995, the Houston Rockets over the Orlando Magic. There have only been 6 sweeps in the Finals. The Lakers have been swept, as it turns out, 3 times. 3 of those 6. Shot clock down to 3. O'Neal over Collins, going high off glass. And a loose ball foul. Foul on Bryant. That's 4.
That Shaq just threw up a wild one to beat the shot clock. Now Brian Shaw, Mr. Desperation, to the rescue here as Kobe will fit it out for a little while. We're watching those Orlando films you were talking about today. It's stunning to see the difference in Shaq physically. In those days, he weighed what, 280, 290?
One guy could handle Shaq. Elijah One did. He torched it.
Here's Kidd. Yes. So the Lakers now lead 84-78. Coming up on the final minute of the third. Marv Albert, Bill Walton, Steve Snapper Jones, Jim Gray, Lewis Johnson on the sidelines. This crowd is back into it. Shaw for 3. Martin with the rebound.
Finally, Kenyon Martin showing signs of becoming a dominant defensive rebounder, something that any Laker foe will need to have if they're going to have a chance of success.
Lucius Harris is back, had the hot hand in the first half, breaking out of a slump. Kidd with 5 on the 24. Golden glass. Jason Kidd with 10 points, 9 assists, getting into the offense as he did in the second half. Sunday night in Game 3, they are on their feet here at the Continental Airlines Arena. Horry for 3. Warrior. Martin with the rebound. And the Nets can hold for a final shot of the quarter. 15 seconds remaining as Kidd works the clock down. Lakers up by 4.
Well, if you're going to go to the hoop, you got to go with Shaq out high.
Well, Kidd with the shot. And for 3 here in New Jersey. The Lakers 84 and the Nets 80.
The fans want more. They're clamoring. Jason Kidd trying to give it more. The tough shot off the glass. Giving the Nets hope, a dream. Is it still alive? 12 minutes.
We'll be right back after these words from your local station. You're watching the NBA Finals on NBC. The New Jersey Nets are down to the Los Angeles Lakers 3-0 in this series. They did not play well in games 1 and 2, but they have been every game going to the fourth quarter, including tonight. You look back, Game 1, despite the bad play, they're within 3 with just under 5 to go. Game 2, within 6 with 7.5 minutes left. And in Game 3, they had come from 14 down and actually led by 7 points with 6:44 remaining.
Yeah, they've got to find a way to take over the game. This crowd is just waiting to erupt and get into this ball game, and it's up to the New Jersey Nets to ignite it. They've got to come out and generate some defensive energy and turn into a sprint team and finally get control of the game.
I'm not into moral victories. I mean, who cares if you win or you lose by 4 points or 7 points or 25 points? You get a victory, have more basketball.
Well, we know how you feel about moral victories.
Nets going to the pressure as this fourth quarter gets underway. And they have Bryant and Shaw in the backcourt. Samaki Walker is checked in. Shaquille O'Neal sitting down. Here's Bryant. Tough angle shot. Kobe playing with the 4 fouls. Jason Kidd pushing it. Picked up by Brian Shaw.
If you're going to make a push, make it now with Shaq out of the ballgame. You got to take advantage of him being down and get to that rim.
This is actually when the Lakers have played their best tonight, when either one of their guys have been on the bench.
Here's Kidd for 3. Yes! Jason Kidd on a roll. He has brought the Nets within 1. Lakers led moments ago by 8, a 7-0 run for the Nets. All 7 points scored by Kidd. George. Shaw for 3. And Harris on the rebound.
Even Devin George has become a playmaker for Phil Jackson.
Here's Kidd trying from downtown. And it's George on that loose ball. 1-point Laker lead.
You know, the Lakers are making threes. The Nets are not. The Nets got to realize that that's not going to be the shot that's going to win the game for them. They got to get the 2. They got to get the foul. They got to get to the line.
And of defense from this New Jersey crowd. Kobe Bryant continues to struggle. 3 of 12 from the field. Here's Kidd going all the way. And Bryant let it go because he thought he had deflected it out. Lucius Harris thought he did. No call made. Here's Shaw. Rebounded by Collins. And it's a 3-on-1. Harris. Yes! The foul. A reach-in on George. The Nets lead by 1.
Now, I don't know how many times you have to look at a tape to understand what you do well and stick with it, but this is New Jersey at their best when they're in the open court, when they're on a push, and they're attacking the rim. That's how they had that lead in Game 3, and if they're going to win this game tonight, this is the way they're going to win it.
The Lakers have missed their last 9 shots. Harris an 84% free throw shooter. So the Nets lead 86-84. Here's pressure bothering the Lakers. Samaki Walker forced to take the time. No, it's a 5-second violation. Did not take the timeout in time.
Samaki Walker taking a nap over there. You're allowed to run the baseline. Get on the move. Come back to the ball if you're already in bounds.
Martin is fouled. Shaquille O'Neal looking over at Phil Jackson, saying, now? Phil said, yes.
Why wait? Just get up and go in. Put yourself in.
Foul on Horry. His second. Kenyon Martin, 4 for 5 at the line. It has been an outstanding night once again for Martin. 23 points, 9 rebounds for Kenyon. DC. Nets by 3 points, 2 minutes gone by in this fourth quarter.
And we know that the Lakers know how to play from the rear, so it's up to the Nets to make this game. They got to keep that defensive pressure up.
Strong double team offered up by the Nets, but the foul is called. Bernie Fryer says Kenyon Martin picked it up. That's 3 on Martin.
A mental mistake. They did their job. They got Shaq to lean away from the basket, to pivot out of his scoring range. He had nothing to do with the ball, to give it up, and they bailed him out. Don't they want to win?
And a defensive 3-second call, so a technical foul against New Jersey. And Kobe Bryant will shoot the tee, 7 of 8 from the line.
I want to see Shaq shoot some technicals.
I don't think we're going to see that yet. Checking with Jim Gray.
Marv, during the last timeout, Phil Jackson told his team, you guys should want to end this right now. Momentum can change from timeout to timeout, quarter to quarter, game to game. Don't start fooling around and keep this team alive. Marv?
All right, Jim, 9:45 remaining in the fourth. The Nets do not want this to be their final quarter of the season. Trying to prevent the sweep. Lakers hoping to wrap it. Bryant from downtown. They have missed their last four. They're now 10 of 18 from beyond that three-point line, and the game is tied at 87.
That has been their saving grace, and Bryant's got a couple here in the second half.
Kobe came up big Sunday night. He had 12 of his 36 in the fourth quarter. O'Neal with that rebound, and here comes Kobe Bryant.
What a killer instinct for Kobe Bryant. Give him the ball. George.
And back come the Lakers.
If you just allow Shaq to be on the weak side, a defensive rebound like that, I don't see how New Jersey's going to have a chance to win.
Here's the double. Ryan Shaw, beautiful ball movement off the double team of Shaquille O'Neal. Lakers able to find the open man.
That's when they get themselves in trouble. The Nets, when they don't stop the ball initially and it goes around, they're late getting to the guy that's getting the shot.
Lakers up by 2. Martin. Kenyon Martin is 10 of 20, 25 points. The game tied at 89.
Shaquille O'Neal the rest of the way. Bring it inside.
Again they swing it. Again the open shot. Again they hit Devin George with a 3. The Lakers 92, the Nets 89.
Such confidence. They just believe and trust in each other so much, and the way they zip the ball.
Martin, yes. 27 points for Martin. The Lakers lead by 1.
And Shaq looked at Robert Orr and said, hey, come on. We're working hard out here. Yeah. You're a step off your man each and every time. We've got to tighten this thing down here.
But the Lakers are hit. The Nets can't trade baskets.
And that's what they're doing right here. Kobe Bryant again. The Lakers lead 94-91, and Kobe has turned it in this fourth quarter. Byron Scott takes a timeout.
What a beautiful offensive game. I mean, we're in the 90s already. We're still 7 minutes to go. Kenyon Martin is stroking it as Robert Horry is just a step late so many times coming behind that screen.
You're calling Robert Horry out again when he's got Kobe Bryant to bail him out. I don't know what's wrong with you. The Lakers are ahead.
Well, as the Lakers did in Game 6 and 7 against the Sacramento Kings, able to come through with a massive run down the stretch, pulling out the ball game. They have done it here against the New Jersey Nets at the NBA Finals. Game 2, a 23-6 run to end the game over the last 7, 39, and then Game 3, a 19-9 run to turn things around after they were trailing in the fourth quarter. We have 7:03 to go in this game number 4, and the Lakers lead 94-91. And you get the feeling that Kobe Bryant is beginning to heat up.
Yeah, he's got 5 of the 10, and you know how dangerous he is in the big moment. So they have got to continue to find ways to score, and then they got to stop Bryant.
And here comes Kobe, but the Nets get back. 6:45 remaining on the fourth. Shaw with the step, and Jefferson on the rebound. So the Nets are going with Collins, Martin, and Jefferson up front. Kidd and Harris in the backcourt. Nets maintain possession. They have 18 on the shot clock.
The Lakers so good at closing out. Their poise, their confidence, their belief in themselves, and their stifling defense. They're able to lock down their opponents because they don't have to double team anybody.
Martin on a quick release. 29 for Kenyon Martin. And the Nets are within one. They collapse on O'Neal. Fisher draws the foul.
They just do not stop the ball, and that's where all of their fouls going to start and end, and they end up in desperation fouling Derek Fisher. They have got to be able to stop the ball if they're going to win this game.
Foul on Collins. That's number 4 on Collins. Fisher to the line for the first time. Keith Van Horn is checked back in. The 102nd U.S. Open first round coverage. Starting tomorrow, 3 o'clock Eastern, 12 noon on the West Coast, right here on NBC.
In the final game, Byron Scott opens him up for a lot of criticism if Keith Van Horn does not come up big here in the final 6-12.
Oh, last touch by Martin. As Ori reached in, but Martin deflected it out, and no argument from Kenyon Martin.
You know, Van Horn has got to do something. Jefferson is an energized type of player. They need pressure, they need cheap points, and they need them in a hurry.
Lakers 95 and the Nets 93, just under 6 remaining in the fourth quarter.
Jack said, bring it to me. I'm tired of moving toward it.
Well, they triple team him, and it's a jump ball. Martin and O'Neal getting involved.
You know, Kenyon Martin's instincts are to attack. He got thrown out of there, and he was going to jump back in. I mean, he gets a good grip on this ball, and watch him try to rip this thing away from Shaq, and Shaq tosses him the other way, and watch him come back. What are you doing to me? Action are worth one more look, and you'll see the strength of Shaquille O'Neal. Martin is in there with a good grip, and he's going to lose this, and he goes bailing out. Now watch him. What's that? Oh, Shaq. I guess I'll leave that alone.
That had been Robert Horry. He would have been all over Horry. You get the report from the Laker bench through Jim Gray that Phil Jackson preaching defense. 5 minutes, 42 seconds, and the championship goes home to Los Angeles.
Lakers able to control the tip. Fisher, yes, had the foot on the line. It's a 2, and Collins and O'Neal went down. The foul is called on Collins. The basket will count.
And Shaq to the line here. Shaq, as difficult a player to referee has ever played this game, battling, positioning underneath. Jason Collins with his arms wrapped around Shaq and pulls him down. The referee right on top of the call.
One free throw for Shaq, potential three-point play, unconventional, and the Lakers able to pull it off.
5-point lead. I mean, these are the things that the Nets just can't afford to give up. But you're talking about playing against a team that's got a greater margin for error. You got to be perfect.
Kid now being played by Fox. Van Horn called for the offensive foul.
Again, right on top of it, the forearm to the chest.
Now, Van Horn wants to produce so desperately, and you know his strength is at the offensive end, but he's not quick enough to get by Kobe.
Why would you turn and face Kobe Bryant if you're Keith Van Horn? You tower over him, you're stronger. Play back to the basket there.
Bryant, yes. So Kobe Bryant turning it up a notch once again. In the fourth quarter, 21 points for Kobe, along with 7 assists. The Lakers lead 100-93, just under 5 remaining in the fourth.
And in 2 plays, you go from a 2-point game to a 7-point game.
Martin putting the move on Horry, a wild shot.
What a great scene here. Even though the Nets are up against it, their fans are going nuts here. They're just cheering.
O'Neal had it knocked away. Lakers get back. Kidd to the reverse. was trying to draw the foul.
That's terrific team defense. Lakers so good. They don't make foolish plays. Don't need to go for two guys on that block.
If Jefferson had been in, they would have had somebody on this other lane to finish the play. Van Horn wasn't quick enough to get in the lane.
O'Neal is fouled by Collins, so that's 6 on Jason Collins. 4th team foul on the Nets. Shaq headed to the line. Todd McCullough will check back in. So Collins in 19 minutes departs with 4 points, 4 rebounds.
But don't ask me why Richard Jefferson's sitting on the bench.
Well, I'll ask you, why is he sitting on the bench? They need energy. They need a guy that's going to be aggressive.
I'm just a broadcaster.
Oh, now you bet. That's the coach. This is unbelievable. All this time of calling coaches out, players out, and now you bail when it's time to stand up.
I enjoyed that speech.
I am saying this guy should be in the game. I've been saying that. I said that after game 3. I'm not sure what Keith Van Horn has done to warrant this playing time down the stretch. He's got Kerry Kittles on the bench.
Lakers lead 102-93, just under 4 remaining in the 4th quarter. They isolate Martin against Horry. Martin, nice back-end move, although Horry felt that he was fouled.
Yeah, it all comes down to this end of the floor. They've got to take away the Lakers offense somehow, some way.
Bryant taking it to the rim. There were no stops here.
None. The
last few minutes by the Nets. And the Lakers lead 104-95. New Jersey calls for time with 3:32 to go in the 4th quarter. The Lakers gunning for a 3rd straight NBA title, looking to make it a sweep. Kobe Bryant uncontested. 23 for Bryant. We'll be right back. There are a number of significant milestones on the line here tonight for the Lakers. If they go on to the victory, 24 straight successful series for Phil Jackson in the playoffs. It'll be a 3-peat, 3 straight NBA titles. And Phil will tie Red Auerbach for most championships. And he will pass by Pat Riley on the all-time list. Most playoff victories, 156. It's a pretty impressive list. And the NHL, Scotty Bowman is going for number 9 as the coach of the Detroit Red Wings. 3:25 remaining in the 4th. The Lakers up by 9. Harris off the fake. So Lucius Harris has come back strong here tonight. He has 16 points.
But with New Jersey desperately needing offense, they've got Keith Van Horn still in the game, who hasn't given them much, and Todd McCullough, who's not going to be able to score.
Well, they've got to get 2 stops down here in a row, and they haven't been able to do it.
O'Neal. And back comes Kidd. Meanwhile, Richard Jefferson is now at the scorer's table, getting set to check back in. Nets having trouble locating a shot.
Nice step out by Horry.
Horry with the steal. Once again, excellent defensive play by the Lakers. O'Neal around McCullough. Another opportunity for the Nets. Martin went to the left hand. Martin. 104-99. It's down to a 5-point game.
Taking advantage of the fact that Shaq went down on that attempt and the offensive end never got back into the play. He just waited. The crowd alive here.
Coming up on 2 minutes remaining in the 4th. Fisher, yes! Bryant had lost the ball. It ended up in the hands of Derek Fisher, and he's given the Lakers a 106-99 lead.
And Jefferson may not make it in the game because there's no stoppage of play.
Lakers are just too good.
Here's Martin.
Look at that outlet by Fisher.
Coming up on 1.5 minutes remaining in this New Jersey Net season. A Net team that went 52-30 during the regular season. best record in the Eastern Conference. But the Lakers are on their way to a sweep. 33 points for Shaquille O'Neal. And this will be the first sweep of the NBA Finals since 1995. They're down to 1:24 to go, and the Lakers up by 9.
Defense leading to great offense. Even when Kobe stumbles and just drops the ball, Derek Fisher's still able to bail him out. And Shaq just working so hard, moving, reading the defense. Tease him, big man. Tease him.
And Shaquille O'Neal in this 4-game series averaging better than 36 points per game, and he has now moved in front of Hakeem Olajuwon most points in a 4-game series, and Hakeem did it against Shaquille back in 95.
The only tears tonight will be tears of joy. And look, Phil Jackson has put Mitch Richmond in.
First time he's appeared in the NBA Finals. Mitch Richmond, who had knee problems during the course of the season, just made a brief appearance against the Sacramento Kings in the Western Conference Final. Coming up on 1 minute remaining in this fourth quarter, and Lucius Harris is able to hit the Lakers now lead 108 to 101.
Look at how Robert Horry did.
Yes.
He gets the ball inbounds. Perfect.
But the Lakers are going to make the Nets work for every shot and use as much time with each possession as they can.
O'Neal is fouled by McCullough.
Crowd didn't appreciate that little extra pace creep from Kobe.
Oh, come on.
They didn't. You hear him going, don't you? What do you think those booze are for?
What's wrong with that? He plays until it's over.
This is the home team getting smacked here. That's what's wrong with that.
Nets over the foul limit. Nice gesture, though, by Phil Jackson inserting Mitch Richmond here in the final minutes. Mitch will be on a championship team for the first time in 14 years. We're talking about an illustrious career. You go back to his earlier days with Sacramento and Golden State.
He was Sacramento, and for all those years when he was carrying that team and they were losing, all he wanted to do was get in the playoffs.
He just wishes he could have done more to help the team.
There's Kenyon Martin. So it's 109, 103. Martin has 35. He's had a brilliant ball game. And Bryant is hit on the reach-in. He'll go to the foul line with 44 seconds remaining.
For the Nets, you need a miracle. You have to hope that a veteran championship team like the Lakers goes totally asleep. And I guess that miracle won't be forthcoming because Anthony Johnson comes in. Kid goes out.
Wow.
Martin is going out.
It's a 6-point game.
A little early, I would think. Still have a shot. I know Byron Scott's trying to do the right thing. He wanted to have the crowd respond to Kenyon Martin and Jason Kidd, but anything could happen here. 44 seconds to go. And the Lakers now lead by 7.
The crowd chanting its appreciation of Jason Kidd with the MVP mantra here.
Well, it's been a remarkable turnaround by the Nets. 26 wins a year ago. Jason Kidd, the catalyst in the way this team was able to respond. 52-30 during the regular season. In the playoffs, they beat Indiana 3-2 in that grueling first-round series. They knocked off Charlotte in 5, beat Boston in 6, beating the Celtics 3 straight after that devastating loss in Game 3, blowing the 21-point fourth quarter lead down by as many as 26 points.
The important thing for New Jersey is where they go from here. In terms of Kenyon Martin continuing his progress and trying to resurrect Kittles and Van Horn. The progress of the big guys here.
25 seconds remaining in the season. Mitch Richmond to the fadeaway. Oh, the Laker bench going wild. Mitch Richmond able to score for the first time in the NBA Finals. Here's Harris from downtown with 11 seconds. seconds to go. It's a 6-point Laker lead.
They isolated for Mitch that time, and they're giving it to him. He's just going to run it out right now. What class.
The Los Angeles Lakers have made it 3 straight NBA championships. They wrap it up in the 4-game sweep by beating the Nets 113 to 107. And Phil Jackson has equaled Red Auerbach's record of 9 NBA titles. His 156th playoff victory as a head coach. He is now first on the all-time list, passing by Pat Riley. Shaquille O'Neal, no question, the most valuable player of the series, becoming the 3rd player to win the NBA Finals MVP award 3 times. Only the 2nd player to win it 3 consecutive times. The other, Michael Jordan. How about the Lakers? 30-5 in the playoffs the past 2 seasons. 3 of those 5 losses coming at the hands of the Sacramento Kings.
Yeah, you know, as you look at Magic Johnson and he's congratulating Shaq, the Kings can only think of the situations where they could have been here because the West was the more powerful conference, and certainly they feel that they would have won a championship, and the Lakers get 3 in a row, and all you can think is what could have been.
Shaquille O'Neal, 34 points, 10 rebounds, 4 assists. Shaq and his stepfather, he calls him Sarge.
And the grandfather, and they all celebrate, and you know, they started the ball game off by saying, you know how important this is to us. We started here in Newark. Let's really put on a show for those that are still here.
Kobe Bryant coming up big in the 4th quarter. 11 of his 25 in the 4th. Shaq, 34 points, 10 rebounds. Kenyon Martin leading the Nets with 35 and 11.
Ladies and gentlemen, please direct your attention to center court for the presentation of the NBA Championship and Finals Most Valuable Player trophies. Here is Ahmad Rashad.
All right, joining me here on the podium is the Lakers owner, Dr. Jerry Buss, Coach Phil Jackson, co-captains Kobe, Shaq, Rick Fox somewhere around here, and now to present this year's Larry O'Brien Award, the commissioner of the NBA, David Stern.
Thanks, Ahmad. The New Jersey Nets had a terrific year, and congratulations to New Jersey and their fans. But there can only be one champion, and we have a worthy one. There was a triple crown this year, but it was the Los Angeles Lakers. They are potentially a team for the ages as they get better before our very eyes. Congratulations to the Lakers, the city of Los Angeles, their coaching staff, their ownership, and in particular, Dr. Jerry Buss, who's owned the team for 23 years and has been in 12 championship series.
Dr. Buss, 8 championships. 8 championships, 3 in a row. You had to be proud of this particular ball club.
I'm very, very proud of it. You know, when you win a lot of championships back in the 80s, you wonder if that's ever going to repeat in your life. To build another championship team like this, I'm so proud of these guys, I can't even tell you. The fans in LA, I wish every one of them could be here at this moment. It's just a shame we couldn't win it on our own home floor. But I know everybody's watching. We love you, that team loves you, and keep supporting us.
All right, congratulations. Phil, no one knows more about three-peats more than you. This is your 2nd time doing it. How tough was it to keep the focus on this team this year?
Well, these dogs went to work and they worked real hard this year, but they got it up in the playoffs and we got challenged. For those New Jersey fans that are here, congratulations and thank you for hosting a wonderful playoffs.
All right, Phil, congratulations. Now to present this year's Most Valuable Player Award, David Stern.
We have a surprise. the most valuable player of the 2002 NBA Championship Series, who averaged over 33 points a game and 12 rebounds, and who is winning his third most valuable player award, none other than Shaquille O'Neal.
Shaq, it was a tough year for you, starting on the playoffs. You weren't really yourself. How did you bring it all together down the stretch?
First of all, I want to say congratulations to Jason Kidd, the real MVP of the regular season. You know, it was tough, but, you know, my teammates, you know, they looked for me. Phil stayed on me, my father stayed on me, mother stayed on me, so I'm just happy.
Now, you told me that for you, it's all about winning championships now.
That would be correct.
So it's got to be special for you to win it here in front of your hometown fans.
Yes, Newark, New Jersey, Brick City, where I was born and raised. I'd like to thank the Jersey people. Love you.
All right, congratulations to you and all the rest of the Lakers on a great, great season.